As someone who's been in the creator economy for over 10 years, I feel like I'm in a very interesting position, you guys, because I have that brand side experience, right? And then I also have a creator community, so I know what y'all are thinking. I kind of want to give that big sister advice today. It's a trend I kind of saw on TikTok, and I was like, this could be a good YouTube video. The things I would tell you if I wasn't afraid to hurt your feelings. Listen, I am human too. And anyone that knows my coaching style, I don't believe in like scarcity and urgency and like all these scary tactics. I'm not a fear monger. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I think my channel is pretty chill, calm, just states the facts and lets you guys move on your own. But I'm human too. And I obviously, even when I work with my coaching students, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But I do think there are things that if I could be unfiltered, I would say, but maybe I'll use this video as an opportunity to share some things that are on my heart, some advice that I would give you if I could be really open and honest. A lot of times people will say things like, I'm stuck. And it's kind of like you're not really stuck, you're just avoiding the uncomfortable work, because there's a lot of things in owning your own business that are uncomfortable. Truly, as someone who's been an entrepreneur for really most of her life, I can resonate with this so personally. Like sometimes I just get unmotivated, right? And it's normal to fall out of love with your business in moments. You're not always like beaming. Even this morning when I was talking to the owner of this YouTube studio, I was like, does everyone love their job 100% of the time? No, there's areas in our business that we love, and then there's areas in our business that really hold us back. And a lot of times we think we're stuck, but we know what we need to do. But what we need to do is annoying, uncomfortable, pushes us outside of that comfort zone. And quite frankly, we don't really want to do it. So then it makes you really reflect. What are the things in your life right now that are uncomfortable? We all know it. Like, I don't need to tell you what that is, because anytime there is growth or there is something that you guys want to achieve, I always think of like the gym example. How you build muscle is through tension. Muscle doesn't just come like comfortably. It's through tension. It's through being uncomfortable. And a lot of the things in our businesses that we don't want to do are exactly the things that we need to do. Now, this piece of advice is for all my avid course creators and binge learners. As someone who teaches education and has courses, I'm going to be straight up with you. You don't need another course. You need to implement what you've already purchased and learned. I make this a big part of my program, is to have live elements, because I do not want people buying my program and then not completing it. That would feel like a total failure to me if I just had people buying my course and not going through it. People think it's always like the money that we help students generate. Yeah, that's great and all, but the fact that people actually take our programs and finish it, that to me is really important, because the learning trap is real. You can watch every YouTube till the cows come home. You can go on AI. You can buy my course. You can buy all my things. But if you don't act, you're not getting results. And that's what I tell my pitching students. Pitching requires uncomfortable efforts and extraordinary efforts too. You have to pitch. It's like if you want to learn to cook, you could watch every cooking video in the world, right? But eventually you're going to have to get in the kitchen and turn on the stove. That's the same thing with pitching. So please stay out of this learning trap. There's a lot of people online just trying to sell you things, get rich quick sort of schemes. Don't just buy the course, right? Don't just buy the extra education, the extra learning. Really take the time to implement the things that you've already purchased even before buying a new program. And look at programs and look at education that has live components. Like my Pitching to Brands Master course comes with a live mastermind. Why? Because I actually feel that if you were to go through my program and you had a question and you wanted to ask the teacher, you should be able to. So we bundle in our time into our program as well so that you can implement. Learning is great, but implementation is everything. Another advice I would give people if I wasn't afraid to hurt their feelings is probably around their content. A lot of people like to blame the algorithm. They like to blame the boogeyman. And, I'm not here to say whether content is good or bad, but I will say it may not be specific enough. You have to ask yourself, why would someone want to watch this piece of content? What is it doing for them? Not you, them. So really understanding, is it entertaining that person? Is it teaching them something? Is it giving them something that they would share with others? I'm doing like this whole Reels challenge right now with my community. And it was such a big eye opener for me that I need to make sure that when I make content, it is shareable. Like I need to be thinking more about, is this a shareable piece of content? So don't blame the algorithm. Blame yourself for maybe not getting uncomfortable in your content styles. Maybe you keep it too safe. Maybe you don't want to push yourself creatively and try something new. Maybe you're afraid of being cringe, right? And again, those are all things that we are setting ourselves up for. Now, for people who don't create enough, one of the things I always tell like my students, and I try to say it kindly, but today I'll be a little bit more forthright, is that if you are consuming more than you are creating, that is a problem. You are not wanting to fall into the consumption game. Doom scrolling, being online, letting your brain just literally rot with the amounts of content out there. It is very different than if you are the producer. You are creating, you are doing. They always say like all the reports around happiness and mental health and social media, they say those that consume are way unhappier than those living out their creative expression. They're being creative, they're feeling fulfilled. So do not fall into the consumption trap where you're just sitting there watching, and you're not doing. And again, that kind of goes back to what we originally said, right? Like that learning trap, which is just consuming, and not getting into action mode. Now, another big thing that it is a eye opener, and this one is for me too, y'all. All of these are for me, is your next version of yourself, the next level of you, the next phase, the next step. You're going to really have to let go of your need for everyone else's approval. All of us, we're looking for the approval of our close friends, our peers, our family, the people we work with on our teams, right? And as you continue to grow, you just got to let all of their opinions go to the wayside. You can't let their opinions get in your head. Something that I always like even just tell my daughter when we're talking about things, when people say things about her, do you want to be like that person? Is that person someone whose life you strive to have? Are they exemplary to you? If not, why are you taking advice from them? They don't even lead the life that you want to live, right? So never take advice from people who's you don't even see as in your peripheral, someone that you even like look up to in that way, right? And a lot of people that have the advice and have things to say, they're not even doing what you're doing. They're in a totally different industry. They don't understand your world. They don't understand this whole space. So you kind of got to be a little strong and get that tough skin and just let other people's opinions not hold you back from reaching what it is that you want in your own life. Now, this is for all my people who want brand deals. Ask yourself this: is your dream partnership going to land in your inbox one day? It's just going to magically appear there? Maybe. Or, wild thought, you actually need to go introduce yourself to them. You actually need to go reach out to them and put your name, in the hat, right? Because if you are just the type that is just waiting, again, it's that action, it's that inertia. And I know a lot of people are like, manifest, bring it to you, attract. I'm into it, but I also feel like there's the and, right? Manifest and do what you got to do to get the job done. It's like you have to also put in that energy and that inertia. And I'm telling you, once you start outreaching those brands and introducing yourself to them, it doesn't mean you're going to get the partnership right away, but at least you're on their radar. At least you were bold enough to take that step and lean into it. Doesn't matter if you get the job or not. Who cares? At least you are 10 steps ahead of the other guy who was too afraid, right? And you don't know what opportunities will come your way. So the importance of, again, shooting your shot, because you will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You just sit there and wait. You will be sitting and waiting for a long time. Anyways, y'all, these are just some of the things that I have been reflecting on and thinking about as a business owner myself, as someone who is also on a growth journey, who is also growing in her professional career, being in charge of your destiny by taking those actions instead of just sitting and being a bystander in your life on the sidelines and waiting, getting in there and being intentional about what it is that you're looking to receive. I hope this advice landed well with y'all. I think it's things that I need to rewire and tell myself every day. A lot of this advice is things that I tell myself, but it's also things that I want you guys to know, because there's an excuse for literally everything, and there's always someone else to blame. But reflection is important. Reflecting, not blaming yourself, but reflecting when you do something and seeing how that worked out for you and having that honest conversation with yourself. Where are you accountable in this whole picture, right? Because bringing yourself to account is very, very important. Anyways, y'all, always wishing you guys the best, and I will see you guys in the next video.